Hey everybody, it's LavenderTowne. Today I'm continuing my series where I turn random stuff into cute character designs, and today I'm going to be covering fast food places. Now from the start, I didn't want to pick any fast food places like Wendy's or Burger King that already had a human mascot, though I bent the rules a little bit to get McDonald's in here. Technically they do have old Ronald, but beyond the fact that he's pretty much retired at this point, I think a post-It revival world is not ready for a friendly burger clown anymore, but also just because, you know, she's gonna be a cute girl, so she's gonna look a lot different than our boy. I decided to go with McDonald's just because it's one of the most quintessential fast food places. I feel like everybody everywhere has McDonald's somewhere that they've probably tried at least once, and I believe when I was a little kid this was my favorite fast food place, probably because of the Happy Meal. I mean, you can't go wrong with getting a toy in your lunch. So for this character design, I immediately wanted to lean into the aesthetics of McDonald's. Now, out of all the fast food places, they've definitely really prioritized like kids stuff and fun, and I had to maintain the clown atmosphere, as well as adding in a bunch of like kid core toys and stuff on this character. Now, I knew for the hair that I wanted to try to mimic the golden arches. I wanted to make her blonde with pigtails that arced out to look like the McDonald's M, as well as just giving her a little McFlurry to snack on, though I actually don't think I've ever eaten a McFlurry with a straw, so let's just ignore that. I put some toys on her hip that were all like different brands and stuff that I know they made toys for the Happy Meal, because again, the Happy Meal is such a big part of what I remembered McDonald's for. And I even put these little baubles in her hair holding her pigtails up that are supposed to kind of look like the play place in certain McDonald's places, you know, like they had these grubby little tunnels that were all kinds of rainbow colors and kids could play in them, I guess, while their parents ate. I also put some little like bits of salt in her hair to make it look more like a french fry, and a gradient red at the tips of her pigtails to look a little bit like some ketchup dipped in. Those were both the suggestions. I did this one actually on stream, so this character design was a sort of collaborative with everyone who came to my stream. I've been streaming every Monday, by the way, so that's just random, but I didn't want to take all the credit myself because I thought that was a really good addition. And I just tried to generally like do like an antique clown sort of look, while giving it really like kitty kind of vibes, really cute. So I tried to give her kind of chubby thighs, and I gave her Ronald's weird leggings that he has with the sort of Christmas socks. Generally, I feel like for personality wise, I feel like she would be like really fun and nice to everybody, but partially only because she knows she's the best already, so there's no need to be competitive. Oh, and as before with my cute girl videos, feel free to drop a name suggestion in the comments and I might select it in the next one of these. Next up is Dairy Queen. Despite having Queen in the actual name, I have not ever seen any sort of Dairy Queen human mascot. I don't know if they've never existed or if it's just way before my time, but regardless, I had to start fresh with only this strange little shape, this sort of lemon shape, and the color scheme, which is a lot weirder than I remembered. For some reason I thought Dairy Queen had a lot more of a cool tone palette, but it's actually not that different from McDonald's. I think it's because of the color psychology of red making people hungrier, but red shows up a lot in fast food logos and DQ is no exception. Dairy Queen is one of those weird fast food places that I feel like even though they technically have like normal food, everyone just goes there for dessert. I guess if you call yourself Dairy Queen, people are just gonna want ice cream. So because of this and because of the only thing that I ever used to get there, I'm basing this character design primarily around their dip cones. I think DQ is really famous for their super like signature twirl at the end of their ice cream cone. It's like almost forms like a full circle, and then when they dip it, it sort of like gets hardened into this strange little MoMA style Skillshare, I feel like. And it's one of the rare places where instead of just getting a chocolate dipped cone, you can get it dipped in like butterscotch and other random stuff. I think they had like a blue cotton candy dip at one point, which looked terrifying to me, but regardless, I kind of used their signature little swirl as a major part of the design, as well as trying to fit that strange lemon shape that is part of their logo in as many places of her dress as I could, resulting in a rather scandalous thigh side cut on her dress, as well as sort of informing the weird like fur thing around her neck, you know, to make her look more like a queen, as well as I could make it into that shape. When it came time for the colors, that's when things got really crazy. I had to stick to the color palette. I tried to just directly sample off of the logos for everything, so she ended up looking like some sort of weird Portal fan art. Something about the orange and the blue is really making me think about Portal. And I made her hair very ice creamy. I made the ends chocolate and butterscotch dipped, of course, and I gave her sort of an orangey blush over cool toned skin, which I thought turned out kind of interesting and cool. I kind of want to experiment with that more in the future. And generally I just wanted to make her look really haughty, really like she's looking down on you. Something about Dairy Queen really just makes you think about a cold royal person, so I definitely wanted to put in that sort of personality into her as well. Generally, I think that this one came out super wild. She looks crazy, honestly, but I kind of love it. I never would have picked these colors if it wasn't mandatory, so it was kind of nice to experiment with. Next up is probably my favorite like standard fast food place, and the only one I actually still order from relatively regularly, and that is Taco Bell. Now, while Taco Bell is, let's just say, not authentic Mexican food, it is very delicious, and I do think that it definitely makes for a more modern choice, just because it seems to be one of the only places that is keeping up with the times as far as having lots of options for people with like any dietary restrictions. Like there's ways that even if you're like full hardcore vegan, you can still eat at Taco Bell, which I think is kind of cool. And yeah, they just have a lot of new menu items all the time. They have a color scheme that isn't like your standard like red color palettes. You know, it's not super like kiddie either. They definitely try to appeal to more of like a teen college student crowd. They want to be seen as more cool and trendy than the other fast food joints, so I definitely wanted to make her seem more like peppy and energetic and youthful. I definitely didn't need to put any sort of like Mexican influence into her, because again, I mean, I think Taco Bell, if you compare it directly to real Mexican food, you're going to be disappointed. You basically have to experience it as its own entire thing that just happens to have beans in it sometimes. But basically I just wanted her to have sort of almost like a retro future kind of vibe, sort of cyberpunky, primarily because their redesign of their logo is like a very vaporwave. They have like this super aggressive magenta color contrasting off of a like acid yellow, and then a pretty bright like almost sort of space purple. Honestly, out of all the logos so far, this is definitely the nicest color palette, though it is quite a lot to put onto a character design, as you'll see in a moment. I wanted to just generally make her look more full of energy, not just because, you know, Taco Bell's trying to latch onto youth culture as much as they can, but also because of that Baja Blast that Taco Bell is famous for, which was a Mountain Dew collaboration that was only able to be gotten at Taco Bell, which as far as I can tell hasn't been done by any other fast food place. They've never like locked down a flavor of a major soda brand so that you can only buy it there. And it's like this bright like pool water blue color, and it's heavily caffeinated, very sugary, so that was another thing that was sort of informing the attitude of this character. I tried to give her earrings that look like the little dongle thing in the bell. What is that called? I don't even know. The hammer in the bell, maybe? And of course I gave her Baja Blast colored Kamina glasses, just looking a little crazy, looking like she'd be fun to party with. You get the idea. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creative people, whether you're interested in animation, creative writing, film, illustration, music, the list goes on and on. There are thousands of classes to choose from, so you're definitely going to find something you like. I find that sometimes when I'm scrolling through Skillshare, I get inspired out of the blue even with classes I wasn't originally searching for, like this class by Kaho Yoshida about blending stop motion animation and illustration. It makes it really easy to discover a new creative outlet because the second that you find it and get interested in it, there's a class right there that you can start immediately. Another class that's really been exciting me is Joshua Dickinson's screenplay class. I have been desperately wanting to get more into creative writing, and I think that the way that he structured the class in the order of the way that he built a screenplay is so innovative, and it makes it feel so approachable. And if you're not on the hunt for a new passion, but rather to refine one you've been working on, there are so many amazing character design and illustration courses. Oh, and I definitely recommend checking out the other student projects. It really helps you feel that sense of community. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, so there's no ads anywhere, and they're always creating new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of the premium membership so you can explore your creativity. So here they all are together. Once again, I feel like I've created a very crazy friend group here. Please leave any name suggestions if you have them in the comments, and I will pick them in the next Cute Girls video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much to my patrons, including Sean Davidson, Gracie Rose, I Am Gender Fluid Salt, Deadly Nightshade, Maria Vasquez, Astral Fox Art, Munch Munch McGee, Dref Shrenick, Middle Z, Alcapa, Lily Allure, The Expressive Poker Face, Morrissey Axolotl, Big McLarch Huge, Chris Straws, Subaki, Snow White, The Becky, Liliana Hammond, Mia Lavalley, Angel File, Q Musgrove, Nicole Ledwack, Nicolette Queen, Rainwater Pearls, Ice Cream Pal, Best Kaiju, Lion, Nato Kamagire, Ilaria Louie, Nora Cornelison, Cola, Your Boy ST, JJ Jade, and of course, Libble.